Two Joes and a Pro. You already know it's your guys here, Kenny, Ryan, and Brian, my boys. First, let's start out by saying how y'all doing. Give me that real quick. Splendid.
You like that? It's a new one.
I don't have a word like that. Wait, if you played Wordle today, I'm doing moist.
Wait, you just gave it away to everybody.
Oh, so they're gonna read this in or hear this in a couple days.
Oh, true. Yeah, true that.
That is true.
Not moist.
Not moist?
Oh, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's weird. Anyway, hey, I'm going to do things a little different since we have a big announcement today. I want you guys to like the video. Do the same thing on Spotify or any of the streaming platforms. Listen and rate us and change the algorithm up so we can get on a lot of people's pages because we got great content here. Number 2, I want to let you guys know that we are now, equity owners in Motivate Inspire Network. So let me let y'all go to motivateinspirenetwork.com and check that out. We're going up in 2022. Anyway, a little subtle juice, man. Just a little subtle juice before we get into it. All right, so let me recap. My small little segment, basketball, because we got a lot in store for you coming up. So for basketball, college-wise, nothing's really changed. Auburn's still number 1, Gonzaga number 2. Duke has been playing better as of late. I think Purdue is at number 4. Number 3 is UCLA. Kentucky's actually playing a lot better, number 5. And then Houston's 6, and the Arizona is 7. Baylor's dropped out a little bit. They haven't been as consistent, but everybody's kind of middle of the pack with 3. I think Auburn's only one with 1 loss, 1 or 2 losses, but everybody else is 3 or 4 losses. The 2022 All-Star starters list has came out right now. So always you're gonna have LeBron in the West until he retires, right? He can be 47 years old. He's going to be MVP, not MVP, but the captain. So he's the West captain in the West. And then in the East we got Kevin Durant, who I think Giannis was it last year. But for the starters right now, we have Steph Curry as guard as expected because he's been balling out this year. And then LeBron James is going to be on the roster. And then Nikola Jokic is on the roster. My guy, Ja Morant, is on the roster as he's deserving because he's averaging 25.8, 7 assists, and then 6 rebounds. And then a surprising person, Andrew Wiggins, is on the roster, right? And I don't know if you guys are tracking, but Andrew Wiggins is a player that had so much promise coming out. He was the number 1 player in the country coming out. Same thing when he got to college. He's just a freakish athlete. So seeing him put it all together when he was at the Timberwolves, he's kind of back and forth. You're not consistent, but seeing him put together is a great thing. You got something to say, Brian?
Okay. I was just agreeing.
Okay, cool.
What you're saying. Wasn't Wiggins originally almost a bust?
Yeah, yeah, because for the first couple of years, his first year is kind of the rookie thing. He had decent numbers, 18, 19 a game. But then it wasn't what everybody expected because if you see him in high school and college, you was this dude is different, right? 50-inch vertical, can do it all. Everybody's man, he's the next one up. But he hasn't. It took him a while to get there, but he's playing really good with on the Golden State Warriors. Maybe because he actually got shooters and people that space the floor out from him, and he's shooting pretty well from the field. But yeah, that rounds out for the West All-Star roster. Then on the East, we have. I'll start from the bottom going up. We have Trae Young is expected. He's at the guard. Joel Embiid, who has been, that man. They're gonna say Joker is the best in the game because his numbers are a little bit better, rebound wise, but. Joel Embiid has been balling this year. Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan, surprisingly, right? I know that hits a soft spot for, Brian because he just bags on him all the time. DeMar DeRozan is not consistent. DeMar DeRozan, he averaging 26, 5, and 5 right now, right? And then Giannis is going to round out as the forward position for the East. But I want to, before I let you guys continue on to, your segment, Brian, since we're transitioning to you, right? I want to ask, how does that make you feel? DeMar DeRozan, the guy that when we talked in the summertime, you're he's not a big player. He's not really good. Can you explain to the people what your thought process now?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at the numbers specifically, but I would be highly interested in seeing what his numbers have been since Levine has been out and right, he's on Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and then Also, yeah, well, I forgot. I sometimes get teams mixed up. But and also,
You get old. That's fine.
the Ball brother there, hasn't he been hurt for a few weeks now?
I'm saying what your point is saying that. What is that? What does that do for your argument?
What I'm saying is now that he's the alpha, has his numbers gone up or has it gone down?
Oh, sure. That's it.
Maybe because he's better as a beta. That's all I'm saying.
Better as a beta.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know about that. I would say this, right? Because I pulled it
from one beta to another.
Yeah, from one beta to another. His last 5 games, he's had 29, 23, 32, 29, 41. That's
okay.
Like he's putting points up, right? I'm just he looks like a dog to me, or roof. A dog.
So what you're saying is he's having a career year.
A career year? I don't know about that because in Toronto, he's playing pretty good in Toronto. I don't know if you forget that.
I bet his averages right now are better than anything he did in Toronto.
Oh man. Okay. How about you? How about you do your segment and I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna circle the wagon and I'm gonna give you the statistics because I didn't know you wanted to go on a DeMar DeRozan beating today.
Hey, you started it.
Okay.
You did start.
I just told him to explain. I did.
Come prepared.
I did.
Okay.
I did. I told him to explain himself. That's all I said. I said explain yourself.
Come prepared, as Brian is not prepared.
Exactly.
Like he's prepared at all.
You have to be prepared to stomp my bullshit.
Oh, okay. Let me stop your bullshit out real quick. Because in 2016, when he was with Toronto, he averaged 27, 9, and what? 9 and I don't know what other 27 and 9. So what?
You can make up a
No.
Oh, that was before Lowry got there, right?
No, Larry was there. Larry's been there.
Oh,
yeah, that was towards the end. That was.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, all right, 1 year. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Damn.
it's cool.
Okay.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
I'm not ready to give him anything.
No, I got
See
you.
at the end of the year.
All right.
All right. Anyways, MLB, real quick. I made an error last week. Of course, I make errors all the time. Jeff Kent is not in the Hall of Fame. But
Hey,
the argument still stands.
Because slight error, guys. Slight error. That's all. He's in the Hall of Fame.
His Hall of Fame votes have more than doubled since last year. So there's been so where I got this from is there's been a huge calling for him to make the Hall of Fame. So okay, so I'm preempting when they do put him in the Hall of Fame because the BBWAA is
He's Miss Cleo, Mr. Cleo. My bad. You were all you was doing, guys, was foreshadowing the future. My bad. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah. So, anyways, we got the NHL right now. So last week I told you the hot team was Pittsburgh in the East. Yeah, they're on a 4-game skid. So I'm really good luck for these hockey teams, man. Whenever I talk about them,
just go bet the other way.
Boom, they go down. So but right now we got the All-Star game coming up. The hot teams going into the break. You got Carolina on a 4-game win streak. You got Toronto on a 5-game winning streak. And then in the West, your hot team is probably Minnesota. Colorado finally lost a game, but they still won 9 of the last 10, so I'd still call them a hot team. And that's pretty much it. One thing to note for the All-Star weekend coming up is that Alex Ovechkin is going to be out. He got COVID, so that's one of the big names. He's not going to be there. So
it's crazy. He's super old. Like when he takes off his it's a helmet, right? Do they call it helmet? What do they call it?
Yeah. That's
okay. I'm just saying, man, because I want to be proper. I don't want to sit here and foreshadow something into the future that's not it, right? So when they take off his helmet, he looks like somebody's grandpa right now. Like
he's only 3 years older than Brian.
Oh well, shoot. Brian looks like somebody.
He's 36.
He looks way older than 36. That's all I'm trying to say. He looks older than 36.
Well,
he
does.
Looks like he's been through the wire.
No, he's I think lived a rough life. Let's put it that way. I mean, that dude has gone through so many injuries, and he plays through them all, and his body's been beat up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I know he parties like hell. He drinks like hell when it's the off season, because when he won that cup, man, he was going crazy partying. That was a couple years back, but yeah. Anyways, Yeah, I know what you mean though. He looks old, but hockey players they all get like that look. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a tape.
It's just beat up, man. It's a rough sport. Like people underestimate like how hard it is on their bodies.
Is it NFL time?
Yeah, that's it. We ran through it quick so you could steal the shine.
No, I ain't stealing that. Look, I only got like 2 weeks left, so like give me a little
That
something.
ain't true. Then we got the draft to start
That's
talking
true.
about.
Yeah.
Oh,
Man.
baby.
Combine.
Hey, listen, the stage is set. 2 teams are playing. So my Cincinnati Bengals, my second favorite team.
What? I'm about to say what? Yo, cut it out.
Hey, my wife is from Ohio. Take claim to the whole state. No. So the Bengals are in the Super Bowl. They beat the Chiefs 27-24. I thought this was a great game. Since he did a good job, they played well. They only gave up I think 1 sack. They actually did better than the Chiefs. The Chiefs gave up more sacks than the Bengals, having given up 9 the week before. It's a good improvement. So they kept Joe clean, so he was able to find his receivers, and he looked good. T. Higgins is the man. I love that guy.
Do you think that they actually played pretty well, or do you think that Patrick Mahomes, that's probably the worst that we have seen him in the second half in a while? It was bad. I was to the point where is this Patrick Mahomes or is this his brother? Who is throwing the ball right now? Because he was doing some things that were uncharacteristic.
Yeah, he had a really bad game. Really bad.
It's weird though, because the first half he was balling, right? It was the first half he was balling, and then I think what it turned is when they went down to end the half and they didn't score. It was momentum boost shifted. Because if they go up 20,
it's the same thing that happened last week. It's the same thing that happened last week. What was the game? The 49ers game, where the Packers were basically dominating the game, and they blocked the field goal right at the end of the half, and it was a completely different game at that.
I just don't understand what he was doing. Never didn't throw the ball away not one time. The interception that he threw was dumb. When they showed it from his view, the defender was still in his face. I'm like, bro, where are you throwing the ball at? It's not like he was open. He was in your face, and you just threw the ball into his chest. I don't know.
I mean, you got to give props to Cincy. They did what you have to do to beat Kansas City. Double Tyreek and chip, Kelsey off the line and make him slow into his routes. I mean, that's the main way to beat them and make Patrick Mahomes have to throw to the third or fourth option. And apparently he wasn't throwing to Hardman. He had Hardman wide open on a couple plays that he just completely missed, and he was thrown into double coverage to Tyreek.
But it's just weird, though. Weird. Yeah, because he did that in the first half. He threw to Pringle, got a touchdown with Pringle, right? He was throwing to Hardman. He was sharing the ball around like he was supposed to. And then the second half is it was 2 different people.
Yeah, he was trying to force it and stuff.
Even that last play.
I was kind of.
Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, that was really bad. He threw it into double coverage, and it was just real bad.
And even at the end of regulation, he's running around what are you doing? You're trying to. I feel like they were more concerned about wasting time.
That's what it was.
Than actually scoring the touchdown. You need to get the points first.
They were trying to keep the ball from Cincy because they didn't want Joe Burrow to get the ball back. But it's bro,
their defense has been playing pretty well that game.
That's what I didn't understand. I feel like they were giving Joe. Don't give him granted. Joe Burrow has been playing out his mind, right? But they were giving him more credit than I feel like he deserved. It wasn't like he was balling that game like he did the last game they played, when he was hey man, it's just an offensive game. It wasn't that type of game. So it was weird that they were they got down there to the end, and then the same plays that they're doing to be effective, they said, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to run the ball now one time. Not once, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like Cincy was scoring easily either. They had to work hard for their scores.
Exactly.
So I would have given them the ball back with a minute left and felt pretty comfortable. So
it was interesting to see the utilage of Jerick McKinnon that entire game. They just were CEH, take a seat. This is Jerick McKinnon's show. Granted, McKinnon looked good. He was running well, so
He looked like he had more
but
burst.
it was very interesting to. It was just he did look like he had more burst, but it was just interesting to see that like all year they went with other guys, and then McKinnon came back, and they were like, he's the dude. Because was McKinnon injured?
No,
through the beginning of the
in the
year?
beginning, I think he had some type of nagging injury, but he was playing towards the end, right? Like he was playing a couple reps, but I think it's because Darrell Williams was playing so good that they're like, all right, cool, we're gonna let him spearhead. But when CEH was out, McKinnon was in there getting those third down reps, right? And then they had him swap with Ware, right? I think his name was Ware or something like that. Or Gore. What's his last name? The other guy. It was some rookie running back, but they were sparing it with him, right? So it's weird that out of nowhere, out of nowhere, it was weird out of nowhere they just had Jared McKinnon just like, all right, you're going to get it. You're going to get the toes. And even then when he was running, he was running effective, but they still didn't let him run the ball. Like, I just didn't understand that. Or check down to him, or give Patrick Mahomes a way for like a swing route or a release just in case things went crazy. Everything was super deep, but you were on the 11 or 12-yard line. Like, all you got to do is touch the front of the end zone. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. That just it hurt my heart, man.
Yep. Hey, and then the NFC game, we got, the Los Angeles Rams. They look kind of not that great for most of the game, 3/4 of the game. They scored a touchdown in the second quarter, and then they scored 13 points in the fourth. But they were able to shut down the 49ers. Jimmy G probably played his last game.
Probably.
In San Fran. Well, not probably. He did. They basically, like, after the game were like, yeah, we're trading his ass.
Oh, they said that? I didn't hear that after him.
Which, no. They didn't say it, but all the reports that have come out is like, he's like looking forward to his future. They're going to try and find a trade for him this offseason. Like, there's no way that they're going to make Trey Lance sit another year. Like, they're putting all their eggs in that basket.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing. That what Jimmy G did at the end doesn't help his case for another person trying to get him as the quarterback, because that didn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know. I think Kyle Shanahan needs to get Coach of the Year.
Oh, for getting there with Jimmy G? I don't know. I don't think Jimmy G's that bad.
What? What's the difference between him and Kirk Cousins?
Jimmy G wins.
Nothing.
Is it because Jimmy G wins, or they have a better coach? Because if you put Kirk Cousins on that team, I think they'll be more effective. Like, I don't think Jimmy G is really good at all. I think Kyle Shanahan's game plan is phenomenal.
Who's better, Jimmy G or Ryan Tannehill?
I'm going to take Ryan Tannehill.
No, come
on. What? Their offensive. Listen, you guys are not giving enough credit to the offensive mind. The offensive mind of Kyle Shanahan is way better than the offensive coordinator for the Titans.
For 3 quarters, it is, yes. That guy don't know how to close a game. They had a 10-point lead, and they let off the gas.
Did they let off the gas, or did the Rams tighten up a little bit? They started playing better defense towards the end.
Aaron Donald.
Yeah, like he started balling.
Because he was non-existent. He took the game
They even
over.
talked about that, too.
I was so happy for him.
Go ahead, Ryan,
Yeah, he took the game over.
Yeah, well.
Cooper Kupp cannot be guarded, apparently, by this team. 14 targets, 11 catches, and 142 yards.
And then Odell is probably the player of the game that won't get the recognition. Because many of the times where they thought they were going to Cooper Kupp on those third downs, safety blanket. Run my 10-yard little stop. Yeah. Come here, catch it. Solid hands. Move the chains. And then you just let Cooper Kupp do his thing. I'm convinced that him and Matthew Stafford are not running their proper plays. They're just out there saying, hey, I'm going to go up, to the up, boom, and I'm going to throw my hands up. Yeah.
Who?
Some of the routes he runs, bro, is weird. Like, he's like corner post. You're like, what? Like,
they're just, it's a mesh. They're just like, hey.
Hey, bro, when I throw my hand up, just throw the ball.
No, they look good. It was a very touching moment watching him and Robert Woods at the end of the game. Because I've always loved Robert Woods, and like I just felt so bad. I was like, man, that was heartfelt. Odell, you were right about Odell. He had 9 catches, 113 yards, 0 touchdowns, but on those big third down plays, he was making them catches. He made this one I think it was like in the middle. He caught it and like was falling to the ground and then got hit, and then it was the helmet to helmet hit. But like he stayed strong and he caught the ball. In previous, and it's because it's the NFC Championship game. When he was playing with the Browns, he wasn't laying his life on the line for the Browns. He's like, no, I ain't getting down there for that ball. So it's nice to see him like playing for something. And I saw the report that came out. He was telling Von Miller, "Don't go to the Browns." Apparently, that's one of the reports that came out.
Yeah, him and Von are pretty close too, so that makes sense.
Yeah. They did. The Rams did lose Higbee, but it looks like it's a MCL sprain, so he might be ready for this the Super Bowl. But Blanton did pretty good. He had 5 catches for 57 yards.
He looked a little bit better.
But they had no tight end after Blanton, so that was the big issue.
Hey,
for that
please go off, but don't go off too crazy and get hurt, please.
Yeah, don't get hurt. But yeah, man, the game was great. I thought. All playoff games this year have been like really, really good. Besides the Patriots game because they played like
I'd say the Patriots and Eagles, right?
It was nice for me to watch.
Patriots and Eagles.
Yeah, but outside of that, Debo, I've already written my public apology. I've already done it.
He's nasty, bro. Oh my, bro,
so
that
good.
you hurt me in my fantasy, bro. I could have won fantasy with that shit. Like. What,
here,
bro? I wish, man. Man, we gotta clip this up. We're gonna clip this up and roll it back. When you said in the episode, Brandon Ayuk. I'm just saying, man. It's Ayuk's year. What?
I can't predict the guy's maturity level because it's not Brandon Ayuk on the field. It was something going on there's a personality issue going on because he was benched the first 3 weeks for like personal conduct by Kyle Shanahan, and then throughout the year he's not going to game plan with a guy that he doesn't.
He had a hamstring injury in the beginning, right? He had a hamstring injury in the beginning. Yes, he did. He had a hamstring injury in the beginning, and they said, "Why is he not getting the ball?" They said he's just not.
Was this a Patriots injury?
No. This
that's what the Patriots do. He's got a hamstring injury. No, it's a contract dispute. Wasn't Gilmore with an injury all for like the first 6 weeks, and then he got traded, and then he was he was on the pup.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's coming off an AC.
By the way, the Patriots probably upset about that because he was balling when he got to the Panthers. He's balling. Like I know Bill normally. Bill normally like, listen, if Bill gets rid of him, that means at the end of their time. But he still look good down there.
Yeah, well, he forced their hand because he wasn't going to play.
You're right.
So
you're right.
Yeah.
So they had to get rid of him. Bye.
I would say this, right? Since we're getting closer to the end, real quick. If you know what you know now, if you have one receiver, both of you, who are you picking for next year for fantasy?
Anybody?
One receiver.
For next year.
Question. Is Rodgers and Adams playing together?
Yes, they're still playing together.
Ooh.
I'm taking Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You gotta take him over Cup.
They've just been. They've been so consistent.
Because next year, not only is Cup gonna be there, but you got Woods coming back off the injury, and if Odell does stay, that's too many targets.
Are y'all forgetting about Jamar Chase?
He's not. He's like good, but don't get me wrong. But he's not Devontae with Rodgers.
What? What?
No.
Listen. That man is top 5 receiver in the league right now as a rookie.
Okay.
What? He's not? He's not.
He's
not.
Hold on. Let me try and name my top 5.
Come on, please. We got to clip this up.
Let me see. Hold on. I
Devontae
need
Adams,
a list of
Cooper
names.
Kupp.
We're going to clip this up. Ryan's top 10 receivers. Brian's top 10 receivers.
I'm not
top
saying
5. Top 5 receivers, both of y'all. Who's better than him?
All right. Devontae Adams. In no particular order. Just who I think are better than him. Devontae Adams. Currently right now, Cooper Kupp.
Oh, yeah. Now you got to look.
I would still put D-Hop up there. Just saying.
Justin Jefferson.
What?
No.
What?
No,
I think Justin Jefferson is better than him.
I don't.
He,
I mean, I'll agree with Kenny on that one.
you
no.
forgot that they played on the same team, and Jamar Chase was better than Justin Jefferson. I know Justin Jefferson is maturing, and he's the alpha on the Vikings, but he ain't better than Jamar Chase.
I think he is.
I'd still put D-Hop up there. He just doesn't have a good quarterback or a good throw.
Okay, that's
quarterback.
3. Oh, what else? What else?
I can agree on DeAndre Hopkins if he's healthy.
No, we already got that. What's the next one? That's the next 2.
That's
No,
4.
that's 3.
I got no, because I put Justin Jefferson. He's up there for me.
Okay, go ahead to Google. What we got?
Michael, you got to think Michael Thomas coming back
What?
this year. He's coming back this year, but
Sure,
I don't
but
know
he's not.
how good. Stephon Diggs.
Okay,
How are you not putting?
I'm not
Diggs up
saying
there?
that
Diggs is better than Jamar Chase.
better. No, listen, like we're not saying that they're the same. We're saying better. He's better than Jamar Chase. I can agree with D Hop,
Okay.
D Adams,
What
Cooper
is your
Kupp.
spe-
I
what
can
is-
agree with that because they have different techniques. They have different attributes that's a little bit better. But if I had Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, or Jamar Chase, I'm not going to be like, no, I got to have Diggs. No.
Is Jamar Chase's ceiling higher? Probably.
And his bottom, his floor is higher too because this is his
but-
rookie year.
I understand that it's his rookie year. I'm just saying that since you got to think about his position. T. Higgins is no slouch. Like, they still have Tyler Boyd. They don't have a tight end. What if they go and get like a good
Bro,
receiver
they are
tight end?
double teaming him and he's still going off. They're double teaming him and let T. Higgins cook and let Tyler Boyd cook and he's still going off. He's still getting the ball and cook.
All right.
That's all. My bad. I just wanted to get your take
All
because
right,
you
know what?
only named 4,
We
so I
can
don't know the fifth one. That you only named 4.
I told you Diggs.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, all right. I rest my case.
Tyreek Hill. Like,
Yeah. I think Tyreek
What
Hill is
else?
a product of Pat Mahomes
Once,
and being fast.
okay. Well, are we going to get to the elephant in the room before we go to the great debate?
Yeah.
oh. Yeah. Well, we got 2 elephants, I guess. The Washington football team is an actual team.
That's a
now.
zebra.
They're the Washington Commanders.
And that's a
The Washington
snooze fest.
Commanders, I guess. Okay, well.
That's such a lame
You
name.
guys are so great.
Lame.
They're the
Oh,
commanders. Like what?
I am the click
Hey.
commander.
Whoa.
It's a movie reference for those that don't know.
Oh,
Yes. Jane Silent Bob Strikes
okay,
Back.
cool.
Not a
Okay.
sponsor. Hey, realistically though,
It's okay
we
when
can
you
talk
quote things, okay?
I don't. Yeah, it's fine. I don't want to talk about all the coach hirings because I think if we do that, we're just gonna have to keep updating every week. So let's just wait till all the coaches are figured out, and then we'll talk about the new coaches, new staff. But the Giants. What's up? Anyways, but we will talk about Brian Flores,
that's what we want.
who's suing the NFL. Who's suing the NFL and
The Miami Dolphins.
2 teams are named in it. 3 teams: Miami Dolphins, the New York Giants, and the Denver Broncos. And he's claiming he has to prove, not has to, but like in according to like if it gets accepted by a court and like this moves forward, he has to be able to prove systemic racism by these teams during interview process. He holds a couple claims in here. One of them is the Miami Dolphins owner incentivizing him to lose games. I saw a report. Hugh Jackson said the Browns were offering him the same to lose games to increase his draft capital.
So did he actually take it? Because
They definitely lost. They actually lost.
But you know what? That is on Brian Flores' side because they lost 7 games in a row, and he was probably getting talked to like, you need to I'm sure that contributed to him getting fired. Like, you need to lose more games, and then he ripped off 7 wins in a row.
No,
and they were 7-7.
That was for the 2019 season that they referenced.
The year that they were bad.
That's the year that they were trying to tank for a quarterback
to get Joe Burrow.
Tank for Tua.
But
and they did.
They were
tank,
they were trying to take for Joe
so
Burrow.
Now he is in the wrong.
They were trying to get number 1 pick for Joe Burrow.
Right. They were trying to get
Yeah. Oh boy. That's bad. That's bad news. And then the other thing is the Giants interview, and then we'll talk about the Bill Belichick text messages. Actually, if I have them up still, I'll read them. Bill texts Brian, because that's all he sees is Brian. So he texts him. He goes, "Sounds like you landed. Congrats." And he's like, "Did you know something that I don't know? Or did you hear something?" He's like, "Giants." And he's like, "I interview on Thursday. I think I have a shot at it." He's like, "Dang, this is blurry." He's like, "Got it. I hear from Buffalo and New York that you're their guy. I hope it works out, and if it's what you want." And then finally, he's like, "I don't know what's going on." He's like, "Coach, you talking about Brian Flores or Brian Daboll? Just making sure." And then Bill texts back. He's like, "Sorry, I fucked up." I double checked and misread the text. I think it's gonna be Dayball. I'm sorry about that. BB.
Yo, like, the funny part about it is that I wanted to see Bill Belichick's face when he said, "Oh shit." Like, dang. Like, he messed up.
He did, but at the same time, it's like he didn't do anything wrong. It is what it is.
But
it's not like he's gonna get.
No. I just know Bill Belichick doesn't like the heat. Like, he doesn't. He's like, "Man, I'm trying to set out all drama," that type of thing, right? But because Brian Flores is his guy too, right? So it's not like he's like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to tell him that." That's his guy too, right? So
he probably won't be your guys' defensive coordinator this year, Brian.
Who?
Why?
Or he won't be.
Why wouldn't he?
Because Bill's. You think Bill's not upset that he's using his text messages like out in the media?
Only because I don't think so, because it doesn't paint Bill in a bad picture.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't do anything to Bill, so he don't care.
Yeah. Maybe. The only thing that would paint him in the bad picture is whoever told him from the Bills and from the Giants about that information. They're probably like, "WTF, Bill, why'd you say anything?" Like, but he's 70 years old, and what does he care? He's got 900 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, I'm good.
Like, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into like a giant discussion about like the Rooney Rule and like all this stuff, but like, do you guys have anything to say?
You got.
Look, everyone's biting their tongue.
Go ahead, bro.
You know, we gotta be edgy sometimes. We gotta be edgy.
We say that we're going to be transparent and have authenticity. So go ahead, Brian.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it out there that I've been saying this for years. I mean, obviously, I probably haven't recorded this, although I think we talked about this briefly.
Yeah.
A while back, but I've always been kind of against the Rooney Rule, not against the premise of like trying to get more minority coaches.
Yeah.
Like, of course, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think that the rule doesn't really help that. It's just a loophole that the teams have to jump through. And, in fact, it makes it look worse, especially in this case, that they just basically can't name a coach until they've actually interviewed a minority coach first.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I got to go find one guy real quick, bring him in and fake this interview. And, even though they already know who they want. So I think it just has a bad look to it.
Yeah.
I think the application is wrong. The premise is good, but the application is screwed up.
Yeah, I definitely will agree to that. I think it's amazing to me how like Mike Tomlin is the only minority coach in the league, right? And he's had so much success. But it's like you have a lot of coaches that are offensive coordinators or position coaches that have those same abilities to be successful, but it's like you don't give them the opportunity to set them up for success. But why is that? But I think it goes to not only a NFL thing, but it's like an America thing, right? Like I feel like a lot of the owners, most of them are super old, right? most of them are in their 80s, 90s year old, and they have their parents, same thing, right? That like train them. But when did they grow up? Most of them grew up through times where things were segregated, right? So like even though they might not be flat out racist, right? You still have those ideologies ingrained in you because most of the time your parents, whatever they teach you, it's going to be, even if you try to change it, most of the time it's still going to be at the root, right? So I think some of them have that type of premise. And a lot of people don't want to step outside the boundaries, right? Because they're scared. Because the owners is one big thing. If you're on the wrong side of one of the owners and they team up together against you, you can't get anything done, right? So I think it's like a double-edged, it's two things, right? It's still like historics of America, right? And then on top of that, it's like I can't get on the wrong side of the owner's pool, right? Like I need to be in everybody's good graces because if I'm not, then I don't have things go effectively for me, right? If I want to get a stadium, any of that, how money is split, all that stuff plays a factor. But no, I think it's definitely bullshit, like you're saying, Brian. Like the application is not. It's not being done the proper way, but the thought process behind it is, like they should give minority coaches more opportunities. But like, if you tell me like, hey man, hire this guy, or you got to interview this guy, but you really don't want to, you're gonna half-ass it. So,
I mean, yeah. I mean, look, I don't know if there's really. I mean, how many owners that are, old, haven't hired a black coach though, or a minority coach?
I don't know.
Like you got, like I just pulled it up. Like the oldest owner right now is McCaskey. She's 97 years old for the Bears, but they had Lovie Smith there for quite a few years. I'm not saying that she's racist, but I think that there's an example of a coach having a long tenure there. That's a minority coach. I mean, the Bengals, they had Hugh Jackson there forever, or not Hugh Jackson. What's his name?
Marvin Lewis.
Marvin Lewis, yes. He was there forever, probably longer than he even should have been, based on the fact that he could never get it done in the playoffs. But, I'm just those are the two oldest owners. Mike Brown's 84.
I'm saying,
I mean,
you can name on your hand how many minority coaches there have been though. On two hands, both of your hands, 10 fingers together, you can name all coaches, right? Or
like
for head coaches,
forever that have been minority coaches
for head coaches.
Yeah.
Is
that what you
mean?
mean?
Is it more than 10?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm sure it's. I'd probably say it's somewhere between 25 and 35, somewhere in that range, probably.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of coaching turnover.
Yes. I think
So
that's.
I'm not saying the same coach get hired again. I'm saying different coaches, right? Like not the same coach. Leslie Frazier goes from the Vikings and now he's at the Bills and he gets hired again as another team because he's the same coach, right? Okay.
I mean, like okay. Well, let's.
Could you name 10? I think we could.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, Marvin Lewis,
Tony Dungy,
Yeah.
Marvin Lewis, Herm Edwards, Tomlin,
Flores,
Flores,
Rivera. He's a minority.
Rivera.
The-
Leslie Frazier, wasn't he a head coach at a time?
Danny Green.
Danny Green. Todd Bowles,
Hugh Jackson.
Vance Joseph. We're at 11.
I say corrected.
I mean,
I think
it's not.
It's gotten a lot better
Yeah.
in like the last 20 years than it was way.
Yeah.
Of course, 100%.
100%.
So I think the NFL has turned the corner. So really, I think the Rooney Rule in general is outdated. Like you could probably get away with not even having to do that,
Right.
Because ultimately, I feel like pretty much every team is probably going after the guy that they want, regardless. And I don't think that race is necessarily involved in it. Like I think they just think that, hey, this guy is probably the best candidate for this job.
I mean, if anything, we got to look at the Patriots for nepotism.
I mean, come on. You got well. But you can't come at them for being racist though, because you got Patrick Graham and Brian Flores both came out of there just recently. So
yeah, I don't.
They got Gerard Mayo though.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the whole because I don't know the numbers, right? I'm just like spitballing. Y'all prove the numbers, right? I'm just saying in the whole that if you look at the percentages, it's not how it should be for opportunities afforded. I feel like a lot of coaches that are afforded opportunities, you're like, how the hell did I get it? Like, how the hell is what's his name from Kansas City not? Get a head coach offer yet.
Oh, Eric Bieniemy.
Yeah, Eric Bieniemy. That's it.
I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's
I don't
being.
understand
I
that.
think he is being picky, much like McDaniels
Oh, okay.
was, and
That
I
makes
think
sense.
he's actually waiting for the opportunity.
I can
that he
understand that.
sees. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can understand.
Because
What about Minnesota?
maybe he doesn't like the quarterback situation. Maybe he doesn't like the organization.
That could be.
There's all kinds of things that
He's
they're
not even
considering.
thought of as an interview candidate. Like I
Yeah,
don't know what's going
Yeah.
on with him. I like him a lot.
I don't know.
Maybe the Chiefs.
If Matt Nagy can come out of there and be a head coach for
But, I mean,
like 4 years,
Andy
like,
Reid is getting older. I mean, maybe Andy Reid's almost out. Like maybe he's
That
like,
could
hey,
be it too.
you're just
That could be it
That's
too.
true.
It's a lot. It's
like
it's a lot of things to it, right? I think the Brian Flores thing is just crazy in the whole. But
I think Flores has just gotten royally screwed this offseason, and he's just letting the dirty laundry come out, and he's mad. And, he does have a point. I don't think that he's going to prove that this necessarily was race-driven, but he has definitely a dispute on his hands where he can say he was unfairly treated, for sure. He never should have been fired from the Dolphins, number one. And then this whole debacle with the Giants, like that, they shouldn't have had to like wait until he was interviewed for them to decide that they wanted Daboll.
Yeah.
Like, they knew that they wanted Daboll. They should just be able to come out and say, we want Daboll.
Yeah.
Don't waste the man's time.
yeah.
You know?
Well, that has it for the great debate. I hope you guys like that, right? So we had a topic for the great debate. Let's still go on the great debate segment. I just want to get you guys' opinion, rather, right? Make it a little bit lighter because it was getting a little heavy in the room. What is you guys' opinion with Tom Brady retiring? Right? I want to know.
Oh yeah, we didn't mention that officially.
Retiring. I'm sorry, but Tom Brady officially retiring. Who do you guys think, or who is one of your favorite players that has retired that you felt like still had something left in the tank that could have continued playing? All right, so I just want to get you guys' thought process on that.
All right, I want to go first, just because I'm greedy like that. Look, I didn't watch a ton of football when I was a lot younger. I watched a lot when I was in high school, but I always remember when I graduated high school, Calvin Johnson. This dude was a freak athlete. If you're getting drafted in the first round at wide receiver, but you played at Georgia Tech, you're a beast. I will never forget watching his highlights at Georgia Tech where he did he was running like a dig on the inside of the field, and he ran in, and they threw it 5 yards behind him, and he just stopped on a dime and threw his arm back and just caught it with one hand, laid straight out. It was like a 5-yard catch, but I was like, man, this guy. And then he went to the combine and ran a 4.3 at 6'5". They called him Megatron for a reason, and he had 2 seasons. He struggled with some injuries, but for the most part, he played at least 13, 14 games a season. He had 700 yards his rookie year, 1,300. He has the most receiving yards in a season with 1,964. He was good on touchdowns, and then his last year in 2015, he decided he was going to call it quits. But even that year, he was 88 catches. Yeah, 88 catches, 1,200 yards, and 9 touchdowns. So I mean, he was still at the top of his game. And granted, he wasn't because that year was Julio Jones with 1,800 yards receiving, Antonio Brown with 1,800 yards receiving. It was sad because it's very similar to probably another player you guys are going to bring up. And the common denominator is the Detroit Lions. I think they just sucked the life out of him, and he couldn't do it anymore. I would have loved to see him go to a different team. It's very similar to Matt Stafford. He did his time. He got dragged down, and then to see him in the Super Bowl. Imagine if he went to the Rams and was just playing with Stafford right now.
Yeah, I'm not going to debate that because Megatron is one of my favorite receivers too, right? I just want to caveat onto what you're saying. Brian, do you have something to say before I caveat? Because I was about to say my guy.
Oh, I guess really what all I want to say is I hear what you're saying, and I think that the Detroit thing is real. He definitely retired partly because Detroit just never could get a good team going. I think they made the playoffs once with him.
Twice.
another thing is he was dealing with really bad foot problems at the end. I think if he was on a winning team, he would have fought through it. But he saw the landscape and was like, what's the point? Like, I can just go out on top right now. Why should I fight through this? We're never probably going to win a championship here. So I think that was partly he had something left in the tank, but he was starting to deal with some injuries. Like he's got like arthritic feet now or something like that. Like it's pretty bad.
But he's a good businessman. I'm gonna have to reach out to him. He's a good businessman. I think he has some stuff going in there. I'm not gonna say the industry he's working in, but he's definitely doing his part. Let me just caveat to that since we're on the Detroit Lions. No. He's in the cannabis industry, but I don't know like that. He's in the cannabis industry, but I don't know 100% what he's doing. So I didn't want to like go into detail because I don't know 100% in the cannabis industry. I know he's right. Nothing to do with porn. Okay, he's not over there slinging it. Okay.
I mean, he's already got a name.
Cut it out. All right, man. So I want to keep it on the Detroit Lions. Right, so like we said, the Detroit Lions have this fog over there with great players, right? So Megatron was the number 2 great player, I think, behind, maybe number 3 behind Matthew Stafford too, right? But Barry Sanders, in my opinion, definitely had more left in the tank, but he was tired of the bullshit that they had going on in Detroit. Like I was just talking to Ryan about it earlier. This man. Let me tell you his numbers real quick before Brian gives me these rebuttals.
Oh, I don't.
Okay, cool.
This guy.
Like,
I love this guy.
So in 10 years, right? Was it 10 years? This is his numbers: 1470 rookie year, 1304, 1548, 1352, 1115, right?
In 11 games.
Yeah, right. In 11 games, right? 1883, 1500, 1553, 2053. And in his last year, he ran for 1491. Like,
he hit the cliff.
1491, and he said, "You know what? I'm good. I'll holler at y'all. Y'all be easy." Like, Megatron had yards, right? But 1491, and if you see him, it's not like he's a guy that they didn't like run him down. He was getting 300 plus touches a year. So you're talking about Le'Veon Bell. People are like, man, Le'Veon Bell is getting 340 touches, dude, 300 and something touches. He had 343 touches his last year, 335 the year before. He had 300 every year besides, or he had 280 or higher every year besides 2 years, which he had 243, which he played 11 games, and then he had 255, which is the only time he played 16 games and didn't have over 300. So, like, and it's not like this man is a giant. You know what I mean? It's not like he's a giant. So it's like you talk about somebody that 5'8", 203 pounds, and he's just killing like that. To me, it's like that's the definition of somebody that's just tired of the bullshit. Like he's like, I'm just tired of being in this situation. Definitely could have went more.
You know what my favorite part about him was? My favorite part about him was every time he scored, he handed the ball to the ref and ran to the sideline. Yep. He was like just a classy guy. Like I don't know. He wasn't show, but like he just knew he was the best player on the field, and he didn't have to tell you he was. Because everyone knew it. He was, but he did have like the most negative yards for a running back.
Yeah, but what I'm
saying
saying is he didn't have to doggone dance in the end zone or do anything because he was making people look like fools on his way to the end zone. Like if you look, he has one of the sickest highlight tapes of all time, college or NFL. Like. The stuff that he was doing, you're like, bro, why are you doing that? Like, if you went to his running back coach, you had to close your mouth. Like, you said the only one, right?
The only one up there is Reggie Bush's highlight for like his college highlight. That's right. Like up there for me. Yeah,
Reggie Bush's highlight in college was like, oh man, it was sickening. It was sickening.
Is that an FBS team? No, that's the SEC.
That's Stanford. That's Stanford. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, Reggie Bush was supposed to be what Barry Sanders was, but he got hurt.
Until that hit by Brian Dawkins.
Where they threw the screen pass.
Until that hit, that changed. He said, I don't know about.
And he tried to get off the field.
He tried to crawl. He had to crawl off. Until that, he that changed his mind for sure.
Yo, you should be laughing at a guy when he's hurt.
Nah, that bro.
When he was in Miami, I'm pretty sure he slipped on like the like cement when he ran out of bounds. He slipped on the cement and then got injured that way. I was like, man, this guy kicked.
Because he was having a good year that year too. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. Another thing about Barry Sanders, just want to add more to this for you, Kenny, is the man averaged 100 yards a game for his career. 100 yards every game. It was guaranteed. 100 yards. And if people think that's nothing, show me an all-time great that has a career average of 100 yards per game. Because I was looking at it. Walter Payton doesn't have it. He's in the 80s. Emmitt Smith, low 80s. The only one that was close was Jim Brown. But Jim Brown only did it for 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Barry Sanders also was like 9-man boxes. Like,
yeah. This is back in the day when teams were running. And teams knew you were running. And you still couldn't stop the man.
He's a definition of like when remember we were little kids and we were outside, because the kids these days don't really go outside like that, but we were outside and they're playing throw 'em up, bust 'em up, and like, y'all call it throw 'em up, bust 'em up? When you like,
you gotta explain this because I might have called it something
whoever
else.
Whoever has the ball, you have to
so
tackle that.
I called it smear the something.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It rhymes with
Okay, I got you. Okay.
That's what we called it.
Okay.
Sorry, people. I'm just letting you know.
All right. I digress. Go ahead, Brian. Go ahead. I'm done.
What's your guy? Who's your guy?
Oh my God.
Listen, I could have taken the easy bait here and gone with my boy Tom Brady, but I didn't, okay? I'm not going to do it. I went with the defense, though. Luke Kuechly.
He's 45.
He's still playing better than almost everybody out there, okay? Don't get me started.
Right.
No, my guy is Luke Kuechly. The guy retired at age 28. He was the best linebacker in the league at that time. Nobody can tell me anything different. Patrick Willis was close. They were in the league like 3 or 4 years together. But in my mind, Luke Kuechly set himself apart because not only was he athletic and was just everywhere on the field, but he played the game cerebrally. Like, he knew what was going to happen before it ever happened. He could help get the defense into position. He was telling, he was like basically having a coach out there. It's like putting Bill Belichick on the field. His brain, like, that's basically what Luke Kuechly looked like to me. Like, he was just insane. Like, he always knew where to go. He was always in the right position. Like, it was so hard to fake him out. I don't know. It's just crazy. And then he just hung it up. Like, I know he was getting concussions and stuff. So I mean, I understand. But oh man,
I was happy when he retired. Yeah. I love the guy, and I thought he was amazing to watch. But like. Yeah, like what you were saying, a lot of his game was mental, and he was taking a lot of hits to the head, and he was struggling with concussions, and like it was like every week. For sure. And I wanted him to retire. I was like, oh, thank goodness, this guy's gonna die out there.
He was so good. He was so good.
He was wearing that collar that's supposed to like restrict. Yeah, it's supposed to like restrict a little
whiplash,
bit of blood flow. Yeah, to help, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't that I didn't think he had more left in the tank. I think he did that because of medical. Like, because I think it's like, I forgot how many concussions it is. I don't know if it's 5 or 6. But like when you have that many concussions, you got to call it a day. All right, I forgot how many concussions it is. So I don't disagree with you, though. He definitely was the best linebacker the whole time he was in the league, in my opinion. Patrick Willis challenged him a couple years that you could say, yeah, you give Patrick Willis and nobody would be upset about it. But he just was. He's different.
Which Patrick Willis was about the same situation.
Oh, for sure, same thing. Concussions.
Right. He retired early, So like, and I love Patrick Willis too. I thought he was a hell of a player.
Yeah.
But I feel like Kuechly was just a step above him. Yeah. Just a step.
I think the difference was between them was they both were super physical, but the mental, like you're saying, right, being cerebral was. I think he was a couple notches ahead of Patrick Willis in that case, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean that's all I got though. I don't really have much more to say.
Yeah. You look.
And I will give honorable mention though to Jim Brown. He retired at like age 30. Yeah. Granted, this is like 50 years ago or something like that.
But they didn't have any helmets.
it was a piece of leather. Like
they had a damn snapback on playing.
But But people don't. I don't think people realize, like, especially nowadays, people don't look back and look at like how great he was, and he was playing fullback in an offense that was like a wing tee usually, or something similar to that, where basically it was dive. It was just dive almost all the time, and the other team knew you were coming, like, but they still couldn't stop him, and he was so good. He could have kept, and he went out on top. He won the MVP the last year he played. And his stats bear it out. Like, that's why everybody calls him the greatest, and he probably deserves it. But I will say Barry does rival him. I mean,
yeah, hey, he's different, and Barry goes under the radar, right? Like, you hear Walter Payton, you hear Jim Brown, but like Barry goes under the radar. Like, you hear his name, oh yeah, he had a great year. It's like, nah, bro. Like, his career was crazy. But yeah, man, that is our great debate, which is kind of flip-flop with our Blind Flores discussion, right? So I don't think we have anything for BK bets. It's kind of a little too early for the Super Bowl. We all were wrong when it comes to our parlays for last week because the over.
I was close.
I was actually close. I was actually 2 points off.
Yeah, we both took the over, right? In case
I took the over and I took money line on the Rams. Did you take the spread on the 49ers? All right, so we
only lost by 3.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be.
Wait, what was mine?
I don't remember.
You had 49ers, right? And I thought you took the Bengals, right?
Yeah, I took the Bengals.
I guess we.
And then I took the Rams and the Bengals.
Oh yeah, well you didn't.
I'm pretty sure
you didn't get the Rams with points. The Rams only won by how?
No, I think I took the Rams money line.
We'll have to go back.
Yeah, we have to go right. Anyway.
I'm pretty sure I was right.
Yeah, we don't
okay.
Anyway, yeah, whatever.
Anyway, man, like always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, view on YouTube. Same thing on Facebook, any of those comments, and let us know what you like, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Y'all be safe out there. Love.